I think a lot of the things that we do and a lot of the things that we create, we really wonder, was it a win? Especially in a competitive environment, because there's not a lot of butt slapping that goes on, because it's next game, next sermon, next thing, next Saturday, next weekend, next campus, next meeting. And so I've been trying to teach for years to teach myself how to celebrate wins. But celebrating the win is only half the battle. And since we don't have like a tangible scoreboard to tell us, did we win? I mean, we know that the New Year's Eve worship experience was great and fun, and we know that Christmas was successful, and we know that we pulled off some good programming. But did we win? I think a lot of people quit, not because it was so much work, but because they didn't feel like they were winning. Can I teach you a little bit? Some of the things that we give up on in life are not because they are so hard. We don't mind working hard if we're winning. We don't mind putting in a lot of effort if the effort is effective. We don't mind staying late if we can see the scoreboard. Yet we minister in an environment where it's hard to tell how much somebody's life changed. I've told the story 100 times. I'm going to tell you some stories today that I've told you before. I know I've told you before. But when I was leading worship over at Christ Covenant Church in Shelby, and the one guy with his arms crossed who looked so angry during worship, and then he didn't stand up, and I looked at him the whole time, and I always find one hard person in every crowd, Gene, and want to crack them. That's like, it's like a win for me if I can crack them. Success for me is if I get this guy to uncross his arms and maybe even lift his hands. Well, he didn't even so much as uncross his arms the whole service, let alone lift his hands. And yet he came up to me at the end, and I remembered his face because there weren't that many people at the church. And he came up to me afterwards, and I thought, oh, he's going to let me have it. And he said to me, with tears, I'm putting him on Shelby accent. I never in my life felt what I felt today. And I said, what did you feel today? He goes into a story, fresh off a divorce. Didn't want to be in church. Somebody had asked him to come over. He came in. He said, to tell you the truth, I'm hungover. There was all of this that I didn't know. Just him being there, sitting there, was a win. But to me, I thought, if he's worshiping, it's going to look like this. Because you have in your mind what a win looks like. And I thought the win was this. And heaven was jumping up and down because Bubba was sitting in church with a hangover. And I was winning. But it didn't feel like a win to me. Because the way I saw it. I want to give you the most important principle that I've ever articulated about ministry momentum. I'm not talking about physics, so don't judge me based on a technical definition. But when it comes to ministry momentum, which is really what we're talking about when we say we want to be a winning team, we want to enter this year and work our windows, we want to seize our opportunities. We're talking about momentum. And it's so intangible. It's so hard to know how you got it when you have it, and when you're going to get it if you don't, and what's going to bring it about. And the Lord showed me something yesterday, and I think I'm going to share it at Inside Elevation as well, but I want to try it out on you. Ministry momentum. Would you put this definition down? Ministry momentum is a state of mind created by a point of view. Ministry momentum. I'm not talking about if you put a ball in motion and the ball in motion has momentum, it stops. I'm saying ministry momentum is a state of mind created by a point of view. And I guess what I'm really trying to say with that kind of complicated statement that I want to break down a little bit more is that the win starts within. That momentum is not something that God drops on us in certain seasons. And as I talk about principles of momentum, and really I want to use 6 windows that'll come up on the screen. And as I talk about these 6 windows through which God releases momentum in our ministry, in our life. And you as a leader can experience more momentum and get a win. Get early wins this year. Get wins in your areas of responsibility. Get wins in your family role. Get wins in your finances. Get wins in your health. Apply it as you will, but the principles come down to this idea that momentum in ministry or in relationships is a state of mind more than it's a state of affairs. That you can be winning big and feel like a loser. Remember the clip I showed Ken of Moneyball and he hit a home run and he didn't know it? It's all coming full circle to me here in 2017 as I thought about working your wins. Working your wins. And I read something on Instagram that said, you're only one workout away from a better mood. That made me stop and think. Because if somebody asks you, are you working out? Have you been working out? You know, you might have only been working out one day when they ask you that. But if you worked out that day, you are working out. You haven't been working out 3 years, but I worked out yesterday. Yes, as a matter of fact, I have been working out. But it was one workout. And it's amazed me at times in my frustration and discouragement how much all it took to shift the momentum in my mindset was one iMessage. Just one iMessage. It's crazy how many times on Saturday night I've gone home, beating myself up. I didn't say nothing. That wasn't, I was trying to it was unclear. And just one text message, just one. And Wade is the best at it. If you want to get encouragement lessons, talk to Wade. I don't know if he encourages you like he encourages me, Ferris, but you ought to read the love letters he sends me on text message sometimes, make you cry. But Wade will talk about the message at depths and is sincere, I think. And but even if it's not, keep sending them, because sometimes you wouldn't think I'd be sitting there struggling. I don't mean for everybody to start text messaging me. That's not the point of what I'm saying. But it didn't need to be 1,000 people. Yep. Just one window. Yes. One window. Wade becomes my window to see how the message that I preached hit one person. And with one message, one workout away from a better mood, one Wade away from spiritual confidence. And Holly's the best at it. She's better than you, Wade, actually. You silver medal. And I choose to be around Holly right when I walk off the stage because I know she's going to give me a window into what I did right, and I'm going to know enough of what I did wrong. And it's hard to sense the wind from within. So, ministry momentum. Are y'all feeling this out there? Strong? Okay. Ministry momentum is a state of mind more than it's a state of affairs. And it's created by a point of view. And that's what Wade gives me when he texts me, and that's what Holly gives me, and my mom gives me, or Amy. Huey's been slacking this last 2 months. He used to text me, but he shut his window. But it's just one window. A bishop did it the other day at the Pound. He said, when you pulled up that midnight thing in Exodus, I lost it. Because you had midnight in Acts, and then you did midnight in Exodus. Well, honestly, I was so out of time, the way I wanted to do it, I didn't get to do it. I didn't even think anybody got it. So I needed a window. Because I won and I didn't know it. Because I'm still on first base. And all it took was one comment. You think it's some big thing. I'll get momentum if I lose 25 pounds. No, you get momentum if you lose 2. You are 2 pounds away from weight loss. That's weight loss. 2 pounds is weight loss. And it's momentum if you see it that way. And I will prove it to you. When we compliment people that they've been losing weight, we always compliment the fat people who dropped a little weight. Never the people who just stayed in shape. And I was talking to a guy the other day. He said, I always have the easiest time dropping that first part of my weight because he has a lot of weight that he always wants to lose. He said, so I lose 20 pounds. Everybody say, you're looking good, you're looking good. He said, after that 20, people stop talking. And it's hard to keep my momentum after that initial, because you know how it is when you first start. When I first started preaching, you're the next Billy Graham, they're pinching your cheek. They don't need to pinch your cheek now, so you don't feel the wind. The problem when you don't feel the wind is when you don't feel the wind, you don't have the energy to do the work. And people quit because, not because the work is so hard, but because the winds are so few.